Hello students, myself Shefa Shah from IT ICT department, and we are going to continue with the lecture series of microprocessor and microcontroller. In the last session, we have discussed about chapter 5, that is assembly area programming in C, right? And in this we have seen the various how to write the program in C with the help of data types. Then we have done the IO put programming, and we have write the example. We have seen the examples related to C programming, and we have seen how to generate a time delay in C using a predefined function and using a for loop. Right now, in today's session, we are going to start with the new topic in Unit 5, that is timers of ATmega32. Right. So basically, as we have discussed in Unit 4, while we are discussing about the time delay, and also in Unit 5, when we are discussing the time delay in C programming, we have seen there are total 3 methods. Right. So in that particular 2 methods we have discussed, and the third method, that is by using AVR timers, that is remaining. Right. So let's start in detail about the timers of ATmega32. Now, when we talk about the timers of ATmega32, so in the AVR, there are total 3 timers in ATmega32. They are named as timer 0, timer 1, and timer 2. Right? In this, timer 0 and timer 2 are of 8-bit timers, whereas timer 1 is a 16-bit time. Right? So, what does the timer do, or how does the timer works as a count? So every timer will need a clock pulse to tick, that means to count. Right? The clock source should be internal or as well as external. If the clock source used, that is internal, for the microcontroller, then they are working as a timer for ATmega32. But that particular clock pulse, which are generated with the help of crystal frequency, they are used for the external cycles, then they are called as counters. Right? So if we use the internal clock source, then the frequency of crystal oscillator is fed into the timer. So at that particular, when we are using the timer as the clock pulse is the internal source, then they will work as a timer. Otherwise, they will work as a counter. Right? Therefore, it is called as a time delay generator, and consequently is called a timer. But by choosing the external clock option, we feed a pulse through one of the AVR pins, and that is called as counter. Clear? Now let's discuss in detail about the timers of ATmega32. So when we talk about the timers of ATmega32, so this is the basic diagram of ATmega32 timers. So as you can see in the following diagram, there are total 3 timers, that is timer 0, timer 1, and timer 2. Out of which timer 0 and timer 2 are of 8 bits, whereas timer 1 is of 16 bits. Right? So basically in the timers, there are basic registers which can be stored or which can count the pulses based on the operation of the register. Right? So as you can see, the basic registers in the timer, in the figure, you can see that each timer has TCCR register. TCCR stands for timer counter control register. If it is timer 0, then it will be a timer TCCR 0. If it is timer 2, then it will be a TCCR 2. And if it is timer 1, which is 16 bits, so the TCCR register is divided into the 8-bit chunks, as the data is of 8-bit. So 2 control registers has been divided, that is TCCR 1A and TCCR 1B. Right? So these are the 3 timer control registers for controlling the timer in timer 0, timer 1, and timer 2. Now, for counting the pulse, right, for calculating the pulse, we are storing the data into the register which is known as TCNT, that is timer counter register. Right? So TCNT register will store the clock pulse from which the timer need to be start the counting. Right? So for timer 0, that is TCNT 0. For timer 1, it is again divided into 2 parts. This is TCNT1, which is either 1L and 1H, right? And for timer 2, that is TCNT2, right? Now, whenever it will check, what does the timer do basically? That is, so it will check, let's say, let's talk about the timer 0. So timer 0 is an 8-bit register. So maximum count will be of 2 raised to 8, that will be 256. Right? So the timer will count from 00 to maximum, that is 255, which is FF. Clear? Now, whenever we need to calculate number of pulses, what we are doing is we are storing the data in TCNT0, and TCNT will automatically increment up to the maximum state, which is the FF, right? And whenever the FF will comes and the next pulse will come, the next pulse will go from FF, that is the last stage. So FF from the jump, it will go to the 00, and the overflow flag will be the set. So from that particular point of view, we can say that our timer counting pulse has been completed. Clear? So here that will be a flags affected, that is TOV flag, that is timer overflow flag, right? And similarly, the timer is working in a two modes. First, that is the normal mode through which the TOV flag will be affected, and second, there will be a second mode which is called as CTC mode, that is clear timer on control, on counting, right? So what does it do? That as you can see in the right hand side of the figure, right, in timer 0, the TCNT0 and OCR, that is OCR, that is the output compare register. Again, that is data that is used for storing the data when we are working with the CTC, right? Now, what does it happens? So whenever we are working with the normal mode, the number of count pulse which needs to be stored, that is stored in the TCNT0, and TCNT will automatically incremented by 1, up to which it will monitor that TOV flag is overflow or not, right? Till then it will be monitored, right? Now, what does in CTC mode will do? So CTC mode will do, so the data which we need to count, that will be stored in output compare register, and TCNT register will be initialized with the help of 0, right? So again, in TCNT will be incremented by 1 as it is its property, right? So till where it will be incremented, till there will be a comparison between OCR and TCNT0, right? As soon as the data matches between the two registers, then based on this OCF, that is the output compare flag, that will be overflowed after the comparison will be completed and the match will be over, right? So similar, these two ways the timer is working right now, right? So we will see in detail in the next session that how we will programming the time, right? Right now we are discussing about the theory of the timers. Now, so when we talk about the basic registering timer, so in the AVR, for each of the timers, there is TCNT, that is timer counter register, right? That means in ATmega32, we have a TCNT0, TCNT1, and TCNT2, right? Now, the TCNT register is a counter, and upon reset, the TCNT will contains the 0. That means it will go on to the next top location. It counts up with the each pulse, it is auto incremented by 1. The content of timer and counter can be accessed during the TCNT register. You can load a value into a TCNT register and read its value, right? So now each timer has a TOV flag, that is timer overflow flag as well. So whenever it will be TCNT will be incremented, the timer overflow flag will be checked. Till then it will be set, right? And when the timer overflows, its TOV flag will be set. So we need to monitor when at what particular time and how much clock pulse cycle the timer overflow, that is TOV flag, will be set. Now, again, each timer also has a TCCR register, that is timer counter control register, for setting the modes of operation. That means the timer working in which condition, that will be provided by us in TCCR and value. Here, for example, you can specific timer 0 to work as a timer or counter by loading the proper values in TCCR 0. Right? Now, each timer also has OCRN register, that is output compare register. The content of output compare register is compared with the content of TCNT, and whenever there will be a comparison will be matched at that particular time, OCF flag, that is output compare overflow flag, will be set, right? So this way the timer is working. Now, so the timer register are located in IO register. So whenever we need to access these timers, we can access using in and out instructions, right? So therefore you can read or write from timer registers using in and out instructions. For example, here it is, as it has been given one example that we need to load TCNT0 register with the 25 data. So what we can do is we can load 25 into any general purpose register using LDI instruction. So LDI R20, 25. right? And that particular data will be given to that particular TC and T0 register with the help of out instruction. So out TC and T0 are 20. Clear? And if we want to send that particular data from TC and timer to the register, we can use the in instruction similar way. That is in R90 any register from the general purpose, comma TC and T2. That means the timer value will be loaded in the general purpose register for the further use. Clear? So these way in and out instruction can be directly used as the timer is a part of IO register. Now we will see each and every timer with its programming in assembly as well as in C. So let's start first with the timer 0 programming. So as we have discussed in the first slide that the timer 0 is a 8-bit register, right? So the TC and T0 for the timer to be for the count pulse need to be stored, that is also 8-bit register. So as you can see in this below diagram, here the TC and T0 register which is 8-bit has been shown to us, which is working from LSP that is D0 to MSP that is D7. So 8-bit data can be stored simultaneously and in TC and T0 register. Right, so this is a simple register where we need to store our count pulse, and from this count pulse, that particular count pulse, the TC enter will be incremented by 1 up to its maximum value. Right, whenever its maximum value will come and the next clock pulse, the timer overflow flag will be set, and that much pulse can be calculated and that much delay will be generated with the help of timer. Now, next that is TCCRO register, that is timer counter control register. So again, it is also 8-bit register, and as you can see in the next figure, here you can see it is a 8-bit figure has been shown to us for TCCR0. Now, for as you can see, the first 3 bits from the right hand side, right, that is 0, 1 and 2th bit, that is given from the CS00, CS01 and CS02, that stands for the chip select. Clear? That is clock source, right? That how much clock source we need to generate or for the particular timer, right? Then as you can see, the 3rd bit and the 6th bit, that is WGM00 and WGM01, will show us the timer will work in which mode, right? So here we are discussing the 2 modes of the timer, that is normal mode and CTC mode. So for particular that modes, we will do the programming. Clear? Now, similarly, 4th and 5th bit, that is COM00 and COM01, right? So COM00 and COM01, that is used for the communication purpose, well, serial communication. Here we are not using the synchronous purpose, so here that always it will be a 00 value. And last, that will be 7th bit, which is FOC, that is force on capture. Right, so force compare match will also again it is used for the comparison, so we are not using for that particular key. So the bit number 4, 5 and bit number 7 will always be 0 for timer 0 programming, right? And rest all the bits, that is 0, 1 and 2 and 3 and 6 will be changed as per the program given. Right, so as you can see in 3rd and 5th, 6th bit, that is WGM00 and WGM01. So as it is a 2 bit, so it will be a combination of 4, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1. Out of this 4 combination, we are using the first combination, that is if both the bits are 0, then the timer 0 is working in the normal mode. And if the second stage, that is if the timer is working having the value 0, 1 in D6 and D3, right? So at that particular time, timer 0 is working in the CTC mode. So these 2 modes will be discussed in this timer 0 programming. Clear? Now, when we come to the last 3 bits, that is 0, 1 and 2, that is CS00, CS01 and CS00. So based on this, as there are 3 bits, so it will be having 8 combinations. So starting from 000 to 111. So each code will have a predefined function. So 000 stands for no clock source. No clock source, that means that at that particular time, whenever there will be all the 3 bits will be 0, the timer will not work and the timer will stop. Clear? So for making the timer to stop counting, we need to set in this the last 3 bits, LSB bits, we need to set 0, 0, 0. If we are giving the simple clock with no prescaling, right? So at that particular time, the combination will be 0, 0, 1. If we are giving the clock source with the prescaler 8, that means the frequency which has been given, that will be divided by the 8, right? So that will having combination 0, 1, 0. Then 011, that is clock source with prescaler 64. 100, that means clock source with prescaler 256, and 101, that is clock source with 1024 prescaling. And last two, that is 110 and 111, are given for the external source with this counter. Right. So as you have studied in the digital electronics, that counter works on two, that is rising edge and the falling edge. So 110 will work on the falling edge of the counter, right? So every count pulse will count at the falling edge, whereas 111 will work on the rising edge of the counter, right? So this is how we can set the operation in TCCR0 based on the program given in our requirement. Clear? Now, IFR register, that is timer interrupt flag register. Right now, in the first slide, we have seen a diagram in which we have discussed about that if TC and T0 goes up to the maximum value, then the timer overflow flag of the respective timer will overflow, right, and will be set. So from that particular monitoring this timer overflow flag, we can say that the timer has completed its counting. Clear? So basically, this all overflow flag is in this TIFR register. So now, as you can see in this figure, that is also a TIFR is also 8-bit register. Each bit having a overflow flag compared to that particular timer. So bit 0 and bit 1 stands for the timer 0 flag, right? That is for if it is working in the normal mode, then we are monitoring TOV flag, that is bit 0 flag. And if it is working in CTC mode, then we are comparing this OCF0 flag, right? Similarly, then the second bit is for timer 1, that is TOV1 flag, that is timer overflow first for timer 1 flag. Then, as we have discussed, that the timer 1 is 16-bit, so it is divided into the 8-bit chunks. This is TCCR1, TCNT1L and TCNT1H. So both this will compared and will be given to the two OCR register, that is OCR1A or OCR1B. So based on this comparison, we have two flags, that is OCF1B and OCF1A, based on the comparison with the respective OCR1A and OCR1B. Right, then fifth bit, that is the input capture flag, right? Whenever we need input from the external device and we are counting that particular clocks, that is called as input capture flag, which we are not using in this particular programming, right? And last, sixth and seventh bit, that is for the TOV2 flag and OCF2 flag, that is for both, that is timer 2 flag. Right, so these flags we will monitor based on the timer programming which we are doing, either for timer 0, timer 1 and timer 2, and based on the mode which we are on working, this particular mode we will observe. Clear? So this is all about this TIFR flag. Now we will start about the timer 0 programming. Actually, how does the programming in timer 0 can done, right? So for this, we are observing this TOV0 flag. So what is timer overflow flag? So this flag is set when the counter overflows going from FF to 00. So whenever there will be a maximum count, and after maximum count, the next pulse will go to the first starting state, which is 00. So whenever this clock pulse will happen, at that particular time, timer overflow will be set. So as we will see soon, the timer rolls over from FF to 00, the timer overflow flag will be set and it will remain unset until the software clears it, right? So in AVR, we want to clear the given flag. So after completing the counting, whenever it will be a set, for the next counting purpose, we need to clear this TOV0 flag. Right, of a register, we write 1 to it and 0 to other bit. For example, as you can see, if we want to clear this T0 flag, then what we are doing is, as we know in the TIFR register, as last we have seen, the TOV0 flag on the last bit, first bit of LLSB, that is 0th bit. So we need to send 0, rest all the bits will be 0, so the data will be 0, 1. So this 0, 1 will be given to this particular general purpose register using LDI instruction, that is LDI R20 0x01. And this data from R20 will be copied to TIFR register using out instruction. So out TIFR R20. So this with the help of this two instruction, we can clear this TOV flag, right? Based on this, whenever the timer will complete it, right? Now, as we have discussed, first we are going to discuss how to program timer 0 in the normal way. So what does the normal mode do that? So as you can see in this below figure, right? So wherever we need to start counting that particular count pulse in hexadecimal, we need to store in TCNT register. So the TCNT register will start counting from that particular value and will always incremented by 1, right? Till up to maximum value, which is FF. Right, so whenever the FF will comes again, it will roll down to 0 0, and the TOV flag will be 1. So as you can see in this normal mode figure, right? So it is giving the graph versus the TCNT 0 register, which is versus time, right? So we will get the delay based on the how much clock pulse it will calculate. So here the maximum clock pulse has been shown to us from starting from 0 to FF, and whenever it will be FF, then it will drag down directly to the 0 0. So as you can see, this triangle first increase linearly increase up to FF, and whenever the FF will comes, it directly drags down to 0 0, and again start counting up to FF. Clear? So this is how we will do the normal mode, and for normal mode we need to store, right, the starting pulse from where we need to start the pulse, right, till FF. So we need to do back counting for that particular, and we will see the steps how to calculate this timer value in TCNT register in normal mode, right? So that's all for today's session, right? Here we have discussed about the basics of timer, and we have discussed the timer 0 programming and its related various basic structures, and also how to program this normal mode. Now in the next session we are going to discuss how various steps related to the counting in this timer programming, as well as we will see the assembly programming for with the help of timer 0, right? So that's all for today's session. Thank you for watching.